So we're on to the second job of the day with our Makita cordless drill. Inside this tank here, we've got an inch float valve, and what the trouble with it is all the little bits of crap that get pumped through the pipe and through into here can clog it up, and then it sort of half shuts on, half shuts off, and then the tank overflows. I thought I might sort that out by putting a little filter on here, but now we've got to clean the filter out once a week, and that's no good. So what we're going to do is put this on there. It's an 1.5 inch pressure float valve. So this is the one that I just took out. If you have a look in there, you can see the opening's pretty small. So every now and then a gum nut would get stuck in there, or a little crotchy. And now if we look at the new one, the hole's a lot bigger. So I don't think there'll ever be anything that'll go through the pump and go through the pipe to get clogged up in there. We've also already cut this rubber out, because that's going to give something to stop the water from getting out of our hole once we've got it installed on the tank. So this is the closest size hole saw I've got to the size of the threaded piece on this float valve. It's going to be a little bit small than what we want, but we've got some other tools in there to ream out the hole once we've got it cut.
Yep.
So if you've ever tried to enlarge a hole that you've cut in with a hole saw, you know how hard it can be. So what I just did then is I went over to a bit of wood that was on the ground and I cut myself a little plug. I then held the plug in the hole and I used it as a guide for my big drill, because the plug was on the drill bit on the end, and then that kept it straight until I had the hole started. And then after I got the hole started, I could let go of this. I was a bit worried about falling in the tank and winding up in one of the float valves. That's why I was on top of the tank holding it. And then I could just drill it through the rest of the way with this size hole saw. Okay, so that was the closest size hole saw that I had to the float valve here, but it just doesn't quite fit. It just needs that little bit more taken off. So I've got these out of a die grinder. So we're just going to ream her out a bit, that last little bit, to make it fit. Needs a bit more. She's a tight fit, but I think that's good. So when we're putting these threaded pipe fittings on together, you should always put a bit of plumber's tape in them on the threads, and that's just going to stop any water from leaking through the threads. So yeah, you go around 2 or 3 times is enough, and that'll make sure all your threads are completely waterproof. When we're doing pipe fins like this, you play a game with yourself, and the game's called One More. Because the question is, do you think you can go around one more time? I think we can go one more. We'll find out. This is a bit where you're questioning whether you could have gone one more, but that was a game one more. That's done. So here's our float valve installed. We've got the ball at the end of it. It's not leaking any water. So there's no leak in our pipe here. It's all looking good. I'd say that was a job well done.